Beautiful shout outs here in Honolulu, Hawaii. What's today? God, it's already Monday. Can't even believe it. I have my oldest brother coming in to visit me for 2 weeks from Massachusetts, so I think he'll be here in the next 2 hours or so. And I was thinking, what topic are we going to cover today on one of these live streams? And this one actually came to me after working with a client today and some experience I've had recently in my own life. And I thought this would be a great topic. So how many people have heard of the term the 80-20 rule? The 80-20 rule, which basically means that 80% of your results are based on the 20% of certain efforts, right? So if you look at it from a business perspective, 80% of your revenue is generated from 20% of your clients, or 80% of your leads are generated from 20% of your marketing efforts, right? So if you can figure out what the 80-20 rule is in a particular area of your life, you just focus on the 20 and kind of like the 80 will come, instead of what most people do is focus on the wrong activities at the wrong time, and it doesn't really reap the results that they're looking for. So in relationship to the 80-20 rule connected to healing, it's actually really interesting. So for those of you who do not know, for the past 20 years, I've been a professional pranic healer, helping people transform their lives using pranic healing methodologies and teachings from my teacher, Grandmaster Choa Koksui. And one of the main principles of pranic healing that you will not see in other energy healing modalities is the principle of cleansing. The principle of cleansing. So what do I mean by that? So if someone has an energy body, right? You have your aura, right? You have your chakras, and you have the meridians or energy channels within your body. If your aura or your chakras or your meridians are congested, they're filled with disease congested energy, and then you supply a bunch of energy into that system, what do you think will most likely happen? Will the person feel better or feel worse? So in general, when you have a dirty system that gets a bunch of energy in it, you have what is known as a radical reaction. So instead of the person's symptoms getting better, they temporarily get worse before they get better. The analogy we like to use is if somebody has a migraine headache, their head area is filled with disease congested energy. So if I take my hand and I place it on somebody's head and I project prana through me into them, it's not necessarily going to remove the disease congested energy in their head. It's actually going to amplify the disease congested energy in their head. So what's a better way of doing it? Cleansing first. So in pranic healing, we clean somebody's energy body first. We clean the auras, the chakras first. We clean the meridians first. Then we energize. Then we energize, right? So that's the problem that I've seen and I've noticed, is that on the spiritual path, on the path of energy healing, and on the path of meditation, people spend so much time energizing. I'll give you an example of how that backfired with a client of mine years ago. So a client of mine said, well, what's the problem if you give too much energy without cleaning? And I said, that's a fair enough question. And this is a person I've been working with for a few months, got great results. But I thought it was a great question she asked, and I'm really big into experimentation and experiential understanding, right? We can talk about theories all day long, but if you experience it directly, it kind of hits home. So I said, okay, close your eyes, and I'm going to do something, and then you tell me what you notice. So she closed her eyes, and I energized a certain part of her energy body that had not been cleansed, right? So it had disease congested energy in it, and all I did was energize it for about, I think maybe 10 seconds. And right around the 10-second mark, her eyes opened up, almost bugging out of her head, and she goes, I think I'm gonna be sick. And I go, lesson learned. So after over-energizing the area, I did what? I cleaned the area, cleaned the area, cleaned the area, cleaned the area. And then her nausea and her ability to projectile vomit all over the place subsided considerably within about a minute. So what's the lesson? The lesson is you have to clean an area before you energize an area. So the 80-20 rule, as it's applied to energy healing, is we clean 80% of the area before we energize it. And the cool thing is just cleaning somebody's energy body, just cleaning their aura, just cleaning their chakras, just cleaning the meridians in their bodies, they will feel better. Because the disease congested energy that's preventing them from absorbing fresh prana is now removed from their system, and the energy body abhors a vacuum, so then it will draw in fresh prana from the higher soul. I don't know if that's too technical for you guys, but I thought it was a really cool take on the 80-20 rule, that if we just focus on cleaning the person's energy body, chakras, and meridians, their ability to heal themselves and to replenish themselves is greatly enhanced without even the need for energizing, which kind of goes against the theme of energy healing, because we think of energy healing as giving energy. But in fact, we're just removing disease congested energies. Does that make sense? So I've always loved that. In my own life, as a spiritual practitioner, when I got onto the Arhatic yoga path, so again, to clarify, so my teacher, Grandmaster Choa Koksui, is the modern founder of Pranic healing and Arhatic yoga. In that practice, so he developed Pranic healing as the healing arm, right? Using energy to heal people, physically heal them, emotionally heal them, mentally heal them, heal their finances, heal their relationships, healing through energy. And then Arhatic yoga is an advanced meditation system to properly, rapidly, and safely evolve your soul and merge your little soul, your little self, with the bigger soul or higher soul, and ultimately back with God. Very powerful system. I've been practicing it for over 20 years. And even in that system, the 80-20 rule still applies, because what's most important in practicing Arhatic yoga properly is purification. Purification. Now, within the system of Arhatic yoga, we have many different practices to help somebody purify their body physically, their emotions, their thoughts or their mind, and then ultimately the causal body or spiritual body of a person. And you're like, well, what's the big deal? What does it matter about purifying in the spiritual path? Well, as we talked about before, if you have a bunch of negative thoughts in your mental body, you have a bunch of negative emotions in your emotional body, and you have a bunch of negative blockages in your physical or etheric bodies, and then you have a very, very advanced spiritual practice that generates a tremendous amount of energy in your system, what do you think that's going to do to you? Is it going to make you feel warm and fuzzy and blissed out of your mind, or is it going to maybe amplify and magnify what's already there? That's the thing I really want people to become aware of. Spiritual energy is a fertilizer for what's in your garden. So if your garden is nice and clean, nice and organized, you've planted beautiful rows of beautiful seeds of all kinds that you can't wait to reap the benefits of those fruits, then adding lots of energy to that system is a great thing. But if you haven't developed the purification practices, and you have lots of negative thoughts, lots of negative feelings, and you have lots of blockages in your physical body, energizing yourself through spiritual practices may not be the best thing for you. I'll give you an example about physical purification. So there was a gentleman who went to one of Master Choa Koksui's classes, and the man was sitting and meditating with the group, right? Master Choa was leading the energy, and then he was walking around class observing everybody, like visually observing them. And he saw this one guy, and he was sitting, and his knee kept bouncing up and down, up and down, up and down as he was meditating. And so Master Choa leaned in and asked him, "Is everything okay?" He goes, "Oh, I'm just having a really powerful meditation. Whenever I have a really powerful meditation, my knee goes like this." And Master Choa goes, He's thinking to himself, he goes, "It's just a blockage in the physical body." Okay. So he just cleaned the area around the person's knee, and then guess what? The knee stopped moving. So his perception and understanding was, when I'm having a very powerful meditation, which he was having, my knee moves. But the reason his knee was moving is because as the prana was entering his system and trying to go out through his system, through the base of his spine, through the soles of his feet, it was actually getting stuck in that part of his body, and it was just hitting again and again and again. Or the energy was trying to come up, and it was hitting again and again and again. Does that make sense? So if you can clean yourself energetically prior to meditation, you will have a much deeper, more profound meditation experience. Same thing with if you do physical exercise, maybe even hatha yoga, before you do your meditation practices, you will have a much better meditation experience. And so this doesn't just relate to ordinary people with ordinary lives, this relates to people that are trying to optimize their lives at the highest levels, say in business. Because if your mind is filled with negative thoughts, thoughts of doubt, fear, worry, stress, anxiety, poverty consciousness, failure, fear of success, fear of the unknown, etc., how effective are you going to be leading your organization, right? But if you go in and you clean out the 80%, right, you go in and you clean out the negative thoughts, the negative emotions, the negative programs within your mental and emotional bodies, and then you supply a little bit of energy of clarity, certainty, hope, faith, inner strength, how much more successful could that person be in business, right? So my specialty is working with conscious business owners and executives to transform themselves so they can operate better businesses, right? So I hope that helps. I hope that was informative for you guys. Thank you for the little likes, and we haven't had any comments right now, but I've been choosing different times of going live just to get different feedback. And so we've been going live every day the past few days. We plan on doing it for at least a week. And you know, the lives are anywhere from 10 to 30 plus minutes, depends on how many people get on, how many questions there are. There were some very interesting questions yesterday for our live stream that I'm grateful for each and every one of the people that participated. So if you got value from today, please share this. Like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the YouTube channel with other friends and other like-minded people who are interested in energy medicine, meditation, practical spirituality that they can apply into their day-to-day lives to alleviate their suffering and to live more optimally. I would love to serve each and every one of you in the best capacity I can. So on that note, I'm going to get ready for my brother coming in here. So this is Christian Long with the Inner Transformation Group, wishing you a beautiful day, a beautiful week, and a beautiful life. Atma Namaste. Bye-bye.